Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Brandon, part-time eBay Macari reseller specializing in media-related products such as CDs, DVDs, and cassette tapes. Welcome to my channel, Media Picker. If you're new here, this channel is about anything related to reselling of media. I'll tell you where I got it from, what I paid for it, how I got it, how to ship it, how to clean it, so on and so forth. So if you want to learn something about media and reselling, consider subscribing to the channel. Greatly appreciate it. Whole different video for you today. I'm gonna put this out pretty quick too. It's gonna be a bonus video. I usually do 3 videos a week. It's gonna be a 4th one coming up here. Uh, eBay. Every so often, you're gonna get cases filed against you. In this case, these were items not received. I have not had these in forever. So I'll kind of tell you what I do with them and how I handle them, and go from there. And I'll kind of tell you what other scenarios I've come across in the past. Maybe I'll show you both cases. These were literally I had 2 cases. I haven't had any all year. I have 2 cases filed back-to-back days, and we'll go over it. I'll go over the results of it, and any questions, comments, or anything that you guys do differently, feel free to throw them in the chat, and I'll go ahead and share my screen. Give me just one quick second here. These are both CDs. The first one, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, 25th Anniversary Edition. Buyer stated item was not received. We'll go ahead and go into the details. So starting September 10th, they didn't get the item. Person said I got a confirmation email that it was delivered, but my corner mail said I never got it. They said it was sent to the wrong zip code, but I can't find any information on where it was actually sent. I can see it was delivered to Tampa, Florida, which is where I'm located, but nothing other than that. I've had orders sent this address before, no problem. Maybe mail service just messed up somewhere. So I went and looked back at the buyer's feedback. I didn't really see any red flags or anything in any way, shape, or form. So it could have been just like a weird thing with the post office. I don't think this person is trying to scam me in any way, shape, or form. However, tracking did show that it was delivered to the address that was provided, which in most cases, or all cases that I've ever come across, eBay backs the seller, and you're not out any money. You don't have to refund them or anything. Doesn't affect your account. So first thing I did is I file a case, like a little message with eBay on Facebook. And so I'll go into the messenger, up here and just type in. They ask for some information. They ask for your name, email address, username, just some background information regarding your account, and then they'll send you a link where you have to give them access to the account. It's perfectly fine through Messenger. It's all legit. Never had an issue. And there's main reason why I do this is because one, I haven't had these in forever. So I'm just dotting I's and crossing T's to make sure nothing has changed with the process as far as from what I recall in getting refunded back or in not having to reissue a refund out, and make sure I'm still protected by the seller protection policy in this case. I was. They just told me, yeah, all you gotta do is wait make sure the tracking's uploaded and just wait a few days. And then when you're able to close the case out, go ahead and close it out. So we'll go back to the case here. So I updated the tracking details as soon as I saw this. 3 days later, buyer sends me another message. Hello, do you mind sharing the address you attached this and shipped the wrong zip code? I'm trying to track down where I got mixed up. Thank you. And my response was it was shipped to the address, blah, 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 Tampa, Florida, so on and so forth. At that point, once the 14th hit, I was actually able to close the case. So I did. I clicked on a little button. Do you want to go or what? Ask for eBay's help or something like that. And what happens is they temporarily put your funds on hold for the amount of the order, and then they ruled in my favor. Case was resolved. Funds weren't on held anymore or anything. I actually got emails regarding the case being opened and also being resolved, which I would just file it in an eBay folder. I always keep track of everything. And that was it. So That was all with this one. Pretty much the same thing happened with the other one, and I'll go ahead and share that one also. But again, back-to-back days. You don't get these very often. You're covered as a seller as long as you've shipped it to the address that was provided when the purchase was made. If by any chance the buyer comes back after they make the purchase and said, "Oh, I need it shipped to this address," your best bet is to then inform the buyer that you're not protected if you change the address after the purchase, and that you'll let them know you're going to go ahead and cancel the order. And I would use obviously issue with buyer's address, and then they can repurchase it and edit the address at that time so that you can ship it to the correct address. I will say I've done it once where I've edited the address after the purchase. It was a DVD going, and she wanted it sent to this house for this kid, and I I just took a chance. That was a small one, so if I would have lost money, I would have lost money. It was what it is, but it wasn't an expensive sale anyway. I did it. Everything was fine. So, but you're taking a chance when you do that, especially on $100 stuff. Normally I don't do it at all, but I made one exception, and it didn't burn me. So that was all with that case. Let me move to the next case. This one was another city, Primal Instinct, the Heart of the Rainforest. Let's go ahead and go to the case info here. So buyer said the message is from my logistics company. We checked the information, and unfortunately, this parcel is not delivered to our warehouse. Please contact the seller carrier. Please help. This person used a freight forwarder. So right off the bat, this person is screwed as a buyer. I messaged eBay on this one also and kind of confirmed that belief also. The buyer would not be getting any refund back, even on eBay's dime or my dime. When they use a freight forwarder, as long as it gets to the freight forwarder address, I'm off the hook. Anything between a freight forwarder and buyer, that's on them. And my tracking showed from the USPS that it was delivered to the freight forwarder address that was provided. So I'm in no loss of money here in this case. So again, I uploaded the tracking details, as you can see here. And then on the 20th, after the 16th, I clicked on the 16th and it wouldn't let me do it. So I waited a few days. I almost forgot about it. And I'm like, crap, I need to at least close this case. So that when you close the case and ask eBay's help, eBay asks for just a little information. So this is what I typed. Item was shipped with tracking that shows it was delivered to the address provided at the time of purchase. And that was it. They resolved the case. Again, no money out of my pocket. And from what I was told by eBay and Facebook, that the buyer would not be getting refunded either because they use their freight forwarder. And that's one of the risks that they do. I do offer international shipping. They could have just done it that way, but I don't know how much cheaper it is through the freight forwarder as opposed through eBay's international shipping program. If you guys know, put it in the comments. I don't have a clue as far as that part goes. So maybe that's why they use a freight forwarder, or this buyer just uses a freight forwarder for everything. They have them stuff shipped to them overseas. But anyway, because they used a freight forwarder, they lost any protection that they had as a buyer. So eBay was not going to refund them. But so when these cases do arise, I always am extra cautious because there's a ton of scammers on eBay. They're few. I mean, I don't really get anything like that. I will tell you what, when I do get offers from buyers, I will check their feedback to kind of see what kind of feedback they're doing or what kind of feedback other sellers have been leaving for them, which in some cases has turned into me blocking them based on what I've seen. Like a buyer leaves just nothing but negatives. I'm like, well, I'm not going to take a chance selling a $5 CD to you and risk a negative on my account. No, thank you. I'll just block you. So I do stuff like that. When I get stuff like this sent to me from eBay, I always get like another set of eyes on it. So I give them the case number, the order number in this case, my information on my account. They access it. They respond back it's usually like within a couple hours a lot of times, or sometimes it may take up to 24. But they're quick. Ask any questions. Definitely go to eBay and Facebook for any questions regarding accounts. They are much helpful, more helpful than any of the reps at actual, if you try to contact them directly through eBay. I think I've done that once and they weren't much help. eBay and Facebook is much better. It seems like they have more leeway, more authority in trying to resolve the situation than some of the actual call reps. But anyway, these were two I am not received cases. I will mention this also. So these obviously showed both tracking was delivered to the correct address. There can be times where there's delays in postal and the buyer says, I did not get it. It was not fourth quarter, Christmas, COVID, all that stuff back a few years ago. That did happen a few times. In that case, I actually do have an account with USPS. So I'll access my account and then I'll start looking for lost mail, like for them to track missing mail and put in the description, the information, so on and so forth. And you're supposed to allow like 7 days. That also buy you time. If you can update the tracking in eBay and they'll send a message that you're checking with the post office to try and see if they can go ahead and track the package, so on and so forth. At that point, if it's way past delivery, you may want to refund the buyer the shipping at least if they still want the item. Obviously, if the item is lost completely after like a couple weeks in the post office and there's no movement after you've done the missing mail case, you're going to end up having to refund them. I mean, it is what it is. It's unfortunate. It's part of the cost of doing business. I've had to do it once or twice, but I've also had it where I've opened up the case and the package got moving again and I'm getting it delivered. That does help. So a little tidbit as far as that goes. Again, these two cases, like I said, these were delivered to the buyer and there was no issues on my end to where I had to pay out any money. Postal Service tracking showed everything was delivered correctly. So anyway, figure I mentioned these cases, something a little different. I don't come across this every day. Figure I might do a little video on it in case you guys aren't familiar with the processes of this. Questions, comments, throw them in the chat. Greatly appreciate it. Consider subscribing to the channel. I would also appreciate that. Click the like button, which also does help me out. And click the bell for future notifications of other videos just like this. And I will catch you guys all on the next one. Bye, everybody.